Hello YouTube, this is part 4 of my top 20 horrors, and this is obviously the last part now, and I don't know what the next review is going to be, but obviously I'll think about what type of review to do, and then do it. It'll be in the next couple of days. Number 5 is Pulse. Um, this film probably used to be my favourite horror, but obviously you watch more films, don't you? But that's what I did, and obviously 4 more films took over it. But this film is a really good film. It's got Ian Somerhalder from Lost, and obviously Kristen Bell, which she's obviously not in many films. She should be in a lot more films. I don't really see her in much. And just a few other people I don't really know. There is one guy obviously who's like in everything. Rick Gonzalez. Obviously he's mainly starred in Coach Carter. There is Pulse 2 and Pulse 3, which I've seen on Love Film, and they're nowhere near as good as this. The actors are miles better in this. The storyline is straight from the beginning, so it's a lot more. You put a lot more thought into it and a lot more enthusiasm into watching it because you're interested in what goes on. And then in number 2 and 3, you just think, I know what's going to happen, I know what sort of film it is. It supplies so much to a horror film. I mean, when I first watched this, I was fucking astonished with how good it was. It is such a good film. Now this is to do with like mechanical things, mobiles, internet, blah blah. It's like these. What are they called? I don't know what you'd call them, to be honest. Um, like supernatural type of thing where the dead goes through mechanical devices, like I said, phones. So as they do that, they come into the world and then they just turn people into something else and make them obviously suicidal, and then they do eventually kill themselves. Eventually in the film, obviously Kristen Bell and Ian Somerhalder work out what's going on, and obviously they try and put a stop to it. Going on too much now about the film. Definitely a pick-up film. It's a great film. Number 4 is Quarantine. Muchly preferred to number 2. Didn't like number 2 as much as I like this. People um, gave this film bad bad reviews. Not on the box, obviously. It's got 4 stars. People give this such bad reviews and go on to the second one and say this is the second one's miles better, gets an extra star than this. But this is independent film. This isn't. This is camera held, and obviously my number 1, I'll be explaining more in depth why I prefer independent films, because they just intrigue me so much. Since it's like a camera moving, it's like you've got to concentrate on what's going on, otherwise you can just go out of focus so easily. And then this, with a camera held film like Paranormal Activity, the first one, can give you more of a scare by things going on with the camera held actually being done. And this just supplied so much horror, and it was scary at times, I have to say. Especially the ending was just mad. I don't really know the actors in it, but I do know that one of the guys, like a firefighter, he's from Hostel 1, and then a little bit in Hostel 2. Um, it's such a good film. It's a zombie film, and obviously with it saying Quarantine is a film, they just go into this house because she's like mad with like recording things with the camera. So she goes into this house where there's obviously zombies in it, like an infection spreading in the house from one to like everyone, and then there's loads of like you could, I think it's police, yeah, it's saying police come over to this house because it's been reported or something, and gets quarantined. And the reason why they go to this house is because the firefighters take them on like a little tour, because they got the camera. They know they're going to record, so letting them record, and then the firefighters just take them to their first house in a fire truck, the people who were recording. So that's how it happens, and then they get quarantined, and obviously shit starts to happen. It's a very good film. I really liked it. Number 3 on my top 20 is Silent Hill. Amazing film. Obviously, got the edition. Well, I think there's only one edition where you get like little cards with it. I don't know. This film just got me so much. I mean, after watching this film a while after, like Silent Hill Homecoming for the Xbox, I was interested in getting it, and that was shit, which let the Silent Hill gaming down, because I really did enjoy the PS2 game Silent Hill, and obviously there's a Silent Hill collection and downpour for Xbox One, which I haven't got my hands on yet. But anyway, this was on for 2 hours, and it was a great 2 hours. This is where about a woman's kid who keeps going on about a place called Silent Hill, keeps drawing things. I think she draws like bad things, like all the stuff on here, and it intrigues it. Her mother, so she does some research on Silent Hill, and then they obviously go there, and then once they get there, she loses her daughter because she has like a police officer on her, chasing her, telling her to come back from away from Silent Hill, and obviously she has a car crash, and then daughter's gone when she wakes up, so she goes in to look for her, and obviously there's like a little siren that you'd hear, like if a war's going on or something, and then when that happens, like all the monsters start to come out to come out to play and start messing with it. It's an interesting film, really interesting. It's got obviously a twist at the end, which it shows you anyway, but no point revealing it if you're going to see it by watching it. This is number 2 now, Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Probably people won't agree with me at all that this is a good horror film. This is my favourite Nightmare on Elm Street. This really, I watched all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I've got them all on disc, and for me, it went better and better every single time for the Nightmare on Elm Streets. From 1 to 8, this is the 8th one. This is the remake, and I just believe it went 1. Not good. I didn't like number 1. Obviously, this is a remake of number 1, so it's like, why wouldn't you like it? But this is like obviously people's complaints. It's nothing to do with the first one, they say. But as I was saying, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 just it kept going up the line of good for me, and this is my favourite one out of them all, the last one. Well, you know, the remake. I know obviously Freddy isn't the same Freddy, and this is the remake, so it's going to be a different killer, different looking Freddy. And so many complaints people made about this film, and I could agree with them in some parts and see why they like hate on it, but it's just really got to me when I was watching it, and it's just a very good film. Obviously, in this one, he just like it in every night in our street, new bunch of people, and he goes to get in the dreams, and people find out about him, and then just try and stop him. Kellen Lutz from Twilight. He's the first guy who dies in this, which is amazing. Best part of the film, just gets killed by Freddy at the beginning. Obviously, in the trailer to this, it shows that anyway as well. And I love the trailer for this film also. I love the film altogether. I've got like a minute and a half to explain this last one, and it is number 1, Cloverfield. I've watched this once. I've probably watched these maybe 2 times each, and that's just made me like them enough to get them in the top 5. And this is once. All the other 19, including them that I just said, I've watched more than once, and this I've only watched once, and it was that good. This is independent film, and like I said about quarantine, I'll explain why. This got me into more independent films, and this got me to like them more. Like Diary of the Dead, that's independent. Quarantine, I love them both for that same reason. That's why Diary of the Dead was more than House of the Dead, because I'm just independent. After watching this, it just got me into watching independent films so much. This is about an alien invasion in New York, and by the way, I love alien films. I really started to get into them after watching this, and like District 9, Skyline, amazing films. More to come out, I hopefully want want to come out on DVD. More alien films deserve it. There's not enough. Signs also, that's another great alien film. But this is my favourite one of them all. Um, yeah, Alien Invasion New York. It starts off, subtle, not much action going on, and then obviously it begins to go on as it goes late into the night. A party starts happening. There's not much of a description on the back of the film what goes on because it's that easy to pick up on, I believe, when you watch the film. Um, Obviously, when the big alien invasion starts, they're on the roof and they've got the camera obviously in the sea and everything going on. Then they're immediately evacuated from town. Every single person just going the opposite way to where the aliens are coming from. And it's just about survival. This film about all the people who are trying to get away, and it's obviously based around main people. And it's just a great film. I'd seriously suggest picking it up. And everything I've reviewed so far, all 20, this has gone on for quite a long time. So I'll see you in a couple of days when I do another.